Hey everyone, welcome back to our This Is Us episode review. Our thoughts on tonight's episode of This Is Us, titled Manny-Splendored Thing. And
it's an interesting title.
Yeah. First of all, I want to start off by saying, thank you to everyone who watched and supported our video from last week.
Yeah.
Over 1,500 views now, which is like the most I've ever gotten for most of my reviews, except for like 2. So thank you guys for everyone who's...
It's me.
Yeah, true. No, but seriously, thank you guys for supporting the videos. If you guys like these videos, share them. Give them a thumbs up. Let people know that we're doing this thing. Because we love the show, and we're happy that you guys enjoy watching us talk about it and ramble for like 20 minutes.
And this show finally got me on your channel.
That's true. So just gotta get to start things off. What did you like most about this episode?
I guess the flashbacks, mainly because Jack's my favorite character. It definitely wasn't my favorite episode, but it wasn't the worst.
No.
Like, it was a good filler episode, but it could have been... There were some scenes that we would have changed.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little later. But.
Like, great acting, no one... There was some humor that I definitely laughed at, and then there were some other jokes where I was like, I don't like Miguel, but I laughed when he raised his hand to dance for the Manny dance contest. But then I really don't love Miguel, but I felt kind of bad when Kevin was like, Miguel, no.
I know.
Don't do that.
You would think, because they made some progress last time.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, I guess we're taking a step back. But, yeah, definitely a filler episode, but pretty good as far as filler episodes go.
No, yeah.
They didn't really further... The only storyline that really furthered was Randall.
Yeah. Well,
and then Jack's in the past.
Flashback, yeah.
But the thing that's hard about that is we already know what happened. We know that he did get sober. Well,
we don't know what's going to happen between him now and him dying. So.
Yeah, but for this episode, we didn't really learn anything about
that. And I liked going back to when the kids were younger. It's kind of nice going back to that time. And this is kind of like a funny thing that I noticed, because they're bringing Sylvester Stallone in on the show. And for those of you who don't know, Milo Ventimiglia played Sylvester Stallone's son and Rocky Balboa. Like Rocky's son. And in this episode, like one of the ways he kind of was able to get better was venting his frustrations on boxing. And then, of course, we see the preview for next week that Sylvester Stallone's going around, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the reasons why they even brought Sylvester Stallone on the show was because Milo knew him. But I just thought that was kind of a funny thing I noticed. But I really enjoyed this episode a lot. Again, I loved going back to when the kids were younger and kind of seeing Jack struggle with drinking at work. And one of the things I noticed that I didn't like at first was like the banging noise between transition shots.
I hated that. That was the number one thing I changed. It sounded like train tracks.
Yeah, but at the same time, I noticed that when they were doing it as he was about to drink or something stressful was happening to Jack.
Yeah.
Like, and then towards the end it happened when he was going to AA for the first time. Like, it was a like, I think that was kind of intense. Like, after,
and then they slammed it when they closed the door.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, it was a thing that, like, at first I'm like, why? This is, like, really loud and unnecessary, but then I noticed.
I got it, but it was just...
It was a little
much.
Yeah. Well, I agree, but, like, because...
It just was kind of distracting, I think.
Because of what was going on. You're trying to focus on what's going on, and you're like... Yeah, but, again, that wasn't a bad thing necessarily, at least to me personally, but I get why they did it, but, it is what it is. Also, I really enjoyed seeing... Kate and Jack in this episode in the flashbacks in both versions.
That was really cute. When she grabs his face both times.
Both times, yeah. And that could have been seen as cheesy during it than the earlier.
You know what? The first time they did it, I kind of thought it was cheesy, but then when she did it at the end, I felt like it came full circle.
Yeah.
Then I liked the first part because they did that.
Yeah, and that's why and you already kind of know that she was closer to Jack than Rebecca.
Yeah.
Especially because of all the drama that happened in this episode with her and Rebecca. And I'm trying to save my thoughts on Kate for a little later because I didn't hate her in this episode, but there was a lot of problems that we had with her in this episode. And I'll try to say all the positives and stuff out of the way, so that way, because that's probably going to be the bulk of the discussion.
I don't want to end on a bad note, though.
No, I mean, we'll have to focus entirely on that, but I'm just saying,
I will say, I think one of my favorite scenes was when Beth jumped in Randall's arms and said, we can do anything together. Yeah. That was cute. I mean, I kind of knew that was coming. It was also in the preview. But it was a cute scene. And I also liked when Kevin looked and saw Sophie, and it was like a flashback to her giggling.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing, too, even last season, noticing, he's doing a lot of stuff to get Sophie's attention. Like that one party, like the whole like Princess Bride party he had when they were kids was because Sophie loved the Princess Bride, and like he's doing the Mr. T thing because he knows Sophie will think it's funny. And the only reason why he's putting up with the Manny stuff, which he knows is stupid, he's only doing it because Sophie's there and she thinks it's funny. You know, and that's like his drive. So it's nice seeing that. And I kind of wish that they would like flesh out their relationship a little more.
Yeah, like, I want to know more.
I like them. I want to know more about their history. And
we know he cheated, but we don't know much else.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know if they're ever gonna flash back like them when they were fairly younger. Or like when they were like adults but younger.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like
because
when they were first married or got married.
Yeah, and because I'm curious to see like where these characters were, I mean, especially because as far as we know, Sophie and Kate don't talk anymore. And there was like I think there was the one episode last season where like they saw each other again, and there's a bit of like that tension between the two. And I'm curious to see like what happened between the two of them.
I wonder if it drove a wedge between them or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Like he had less time for Kate, so she.
Or maybe like the fact that like Kate took his side because that's her brother.
I mean, as evidenced in this episode, Kate can be dramatic. And that's not to say that her and her mom don't have issues, and her mom doesn't say things that she shouldn't. But she took an issue, and instead of addressing that issue, she turned it into something else. Yeah. Like they missed an opportunity for her to be like, "Hey, you know, this was my first real gig, and you had to make that comment." Like that's all. But she turned it into like, "Hey, I'm jealous of you," and it kind of ruined her moment to like confront her.
Yeah. So before we go more into that, I do want to say the scene with her singing, I thought was really well done.
I also like that song.
And I like the cutting.
I like the
like,
choice.
And I like the way they cut the scenes of like seeing the past and the present and like where everyone is.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And also I really like the scene where you kind of find out more about like how Randall and Beth
I like
together
that too.
When you find out, like,
because I honestly didn't know he was telling the story of her when he first started.
When he first, me neither. But then when
I thought that was cute.
And then when you see her reaction because she knows it's her, and I'm like, okay, like I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was cute.
And I'm glad that they're kind of on better terms now because I feel like immediately last season she didn't like the guy being around, and of course at the time too, Kevin and Randall weren't exactly on the best of terms as it was. But you know, I do like that they were able to kind of make a step forward in their relationship that like she's not gonna be like always be like you know like annoyed that he's around or whatever, you know. So I like that scene. But so now to kind of get in the bulk of some of our problems with the episode, I think it kind of starts and ends, at least with us, with the confrontation between Kate and Rebecca. Yeah. In that Kate had some fair points to bring up to Rebecca that we were like waiting for her to bring up. But like he said, she turned it from something that like she had some fair points to bring up, like
valid points.
Yeah, about like you know about Rebecca being like condescending and like being selfish, and she turned it into like I just hated that you existed.
And like you were skinny and you were pretty and you had a better singing voice and it was
and
like
we were just talking about last week how like we're happy that like the show is kind of going in a direction where it's not all about her
and
weight.
And then it took it back.
I know, and it's just like I think I'm starting to worry that the writers don't know how to create a story for Kate without bringing it back to her.
Well, that's what I was worried about from the beginning. Is because here you have great representation and you're finally hiring real people, you know, and that's great about the show. But give them real stories because her only story isn't her weight.
I know.
Every single day is not about her weight. You know.
Like, and again, up until that scene, we're like, okay, they're finally going somewhere with this, like. Yeah. Like, and obviously, like, her and Rebecca's relationship needs to get mended, and by the end of the episode, like, it's somewhat okay.
I mean, all they did was go like this.
But still, like...
those issues still lie.
No, yeah, but, like, it was a step forward-ish, you know? But at the same time, I do think that the way that... I just think that they need to do a better job of handling how they're going to fix that relationship. And this fight made it seem like Kate was just like being a little immature and...
2 steps back.
Yeah. And
she finally confronted her mom, but she said all the wrong things.
Yeah. Which
she blamed her mom for things that her mom can't change. You know, like, hey, you're super condescending. She can work on that. You were born. She can't really fix that.
I know. Like that's where
I get Kate's frustration, but I didn't like how they approached it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like and of course the episode starts with like her being like she's already starting to be like condescending towards Rebecca, which is like, you know, I'm not gonna be a jackass, which kind of was kind of a weird line. That scene
was weird because she's like, oh really, Mom, you sing, and then right away she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even let it land before she apologized. I was kind of like, what just happened?
I think
like,
everyone was kind of like, I feel like for poor Miguel, he just got like abandoned at the
it was cute. I know I complain about Toby a lot, but it was cute how he said, like, hey, I'm on her team for life.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to lead into, too. Because I know you have your problems with Toby, and even in this episode, they're still kind of
That was one of my favorite scenes with him.
And especially because...
Except for when he said, forever.
I thought that was kind of funny, because that's
It's
Toby.
so Toby, though.
And I know. But for me, I like that moment, and especially because he's like, I'm not going to... Like, you're not gonna make me choose sides in this. I'm not gonna.
I like that.
He's like, I'm Team Kate for life. I like that moment. The forever thing was a little cheesy, but again, that's Toby, and I liked it. I didn't mind it. And see, like it's episodes like this, I like Toby where he's like they were kind of like the romantic, like there for Kate, Toby. Mm-hmm. It's when he when they create that unnecessary dramatic tension, like in last week's episode when he was jealous over Kevin.
Yeah, I'm glad they got along in this episode.
Yeah, me too.
I appreciated him in this episode.
But one thing, the whole kind of basis for this episode was them kind of all coming together for this Manny 100th episode special. But honestly, in reality, I know in some shows like they kind of reach back out to actors if they've like walked out on the show or whatever. But I don't think realistically that would happen.
If you think about it, though, I'm pretty sure like 2.5 Men asked. That's
what I was gonna say. Like they asked him to come back, but then
he didn't. But it has happened, I guess, because that was all bad.
Yeah, well, especially because the 2.5 Men, like, Charlie Sheen just didn't like the way the Chuck Lorre was just gonna up and kill him in the finale. Spoiler alert, but that's...
Your spoiler alert was a little... he died. Sorry.
No, I'm just... Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, for me, when that happens, I'm like, okay. And then, like, they didn't even show, like, the other Manny, or the guy who replaced him. So, like, where
was he?
They just acting like...
Did they find the baby? Unanswered questions.
Okay, in all honesty, like, if that was show were on, it would not do well. Like, the
That's
humor...
like an ABC Family... Not, we like the ABC Family stuff. Like, I watched Baby Daddy... We watched Young and Hungry, but...
That show, it's like
it's just fun to watch. It's easy to watch.
Yeah, because it's...
But that would be a show that lasts.
But also, that's just, like, with Hollywood in general. Whenever you, like, there's, like a show or a movie within a show or a movie, like the acting is a little more over the top.
It's cheesier,
yeah. So, of course, that's just a given. But to me, so like, it doesn't like bother me.
Well, because you have to show that there's a difference between acting in the show and acting within the show.
I know.
Like.
Mm-hmm. And it did like the whole scene between him and Sophie, where he's like reenacting like his like.
Yeah.
Not tantrum, but like when he like walked off, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And like the tension between him and like his old boss. He's like, oh.
I wonder what the first scene originally was.
Oh, that thing. But then they didn't really show that. Was like the change, the whole diaper thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it would have been something a lot worse.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, because of the way he walked off on set, I would have assumed that they would have like killed off his character or something.
I thought that's what they were gonna do when he.
But then like, oh, he walks out in a diaper. Okay.
I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean,
it was a good episode, but nothing massive happened. So
yes.
This isn't one of our 45-minute videos.
I really like this episode, but I think I agree with you. The flashbacks were my favorite part. I feel like the flashbacks are always my favorite part, and I like how I think this is gonna kind of be a trend moving forward, where like the episodes kind of like start and end with the time period in which Jack is about to die.
That's what I think so too, for the whole season, probably.
Yeah, just until that happens. And I'm still wondering what they're going to do with the show once they officially kill off Jack.
How they're going to go back and make new drama.
I know, because then it's like, oh, well, what's the tension if you can just go back and go back to when he's younger and everything's all fine, you know?
They better go back to when he's younger. I'm not ready.
I don't think anyone is, especially America. So I think with that being said, that's going to be it from us. So if you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. If you guys want to check out our review of last week's episode, if you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can go ahead. It's on my channel. And if you guys want to keep seeing more of us, or you guys like our video, share it, get people talking about it. We got over 1,500 views on last week's review alone, which is awesome. I'm not sure if this episode is going to do the same numbers, but hey, as long as you guys watch and enjoy us, that's enough for us. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.